years old, and not to gloat, but I'm pretty popular. I know everyone, and everyone knows me. My passion is basketball. I'm the shooting guard on the team, but I also run the relays on the track team. My closest friends are Madison and Jessica. They're so cool. We do everything together. They are basically my second family. I know no matter what, they'll always be there for me, through thick and thin. One day, we went to a party where we met this guy named Justin. He was so hot and super interesting, which is honestly uncommon. We talked all night and got each other's numbers. I got to know him pretty well. We liked each other so much, we set up a date to meet the following Thursday, and we continued to text until then. He showed up and brought up the idea of going back to his place and skipping the lunch. I agreed, so he drove us to his house. I was impressed. It was so big and so nice. He led me to his room and said he would be right back. I waited a while, but when he didn't come back, I tried to go find him. The door was locked. I tried to look for a window, but I realized there weren't none. I began to panic, and I reached for my phone. I tried to call my mom, but it had no cell reception. When I finally realized there was no way to escape, I crouched down in a corner and wept. An hour passed, and then the door opened. In the doorway, there was a strange man. He stuck a needle in my back, and I was consumed in darkness. When I awoke, I was in the back of a truck. There were two other girls sitting next to me. I tried to talk to them, but they seemed as if they were in a trance. They ignored me. What felt like 3 hours passed. When he finally opened the back door, he led us into a warehouse where he put us each in a storage room. The only thing in the room were a mattress, a blanket, and a tiny short dress that looked very enough for a toilet. He closed the garage door behind me. The only thing I could do was feel my way towards the mattress and cry. I fell asleep with tears in my eyes. That night was the first of 100. I awoke with a man's hand on my wrist. He yelled at me to get changed. We boarded a van and went to a small house in a rural area. The man took me by the arm and whispered to me, "If you try anything, I will kill you and your family." He then proceeded to name all my close family members. My heart dropped. I couldn't let anything happen to them because of me. He led me inside the house to a bedroom. He locked the door behind him as he left. As I sat there alone with nothing but my thoughts, I knew what was to come. I had to develop a coping method if I wanted to remain sane. I thought back to my childhood, my 6th birthday, when I invited all my friends over to a princess-themed party. This torture continued for 4 years. The same thing, over and over, every single day without fault. I died slowly. It was a painful, long death. One day, as I waited for the next monster to take whatever amount of innocence I had left, the door to a room was kicked down. A man with a badge and a gun came into the bathroom and asked if I was okay. I said nothing. I was taken to the police station and my parents arrived. I didn't know how to react. I hadn't seen anybody I had cared for 4 years. I didn't know how to feel. I was taken home. My parents didn't know what to do with me since I didn't demonstrate any emotion. They took me to a support group. None of those girls seemed like me. They seemed completely able to speak about what had happened to them, but I couldn't. I was pathetic. My life was worth nothing. I couldn't even simply speak to another human being. I offered nothing to this world. I was just an embarrassment and a disappointment to everyone I knew. Edison and Jessica tried to speak to me, but since I wouldn't even acknowledge their presence, they stopped coming. I got to the point that it was so unbearable for my parents that they sent me to a mental institution. I was forever trapped in my own mind. No escaping, no hiding. no forgetting.
700,000 girls are trafficked worldwide today. This is not just a fictional story that happens in movies or books. This is the reality of many girls.
Like me.